Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a really interesting set of sources you've shared with us.
Yeah, these are quite something. They focus on a very specific football rumor. Pretty speculative stuff.
Exactly. And our mission today is to kind of unpack what these sources allege is a secret plan. Involves some massive names, too.
Right. Messi, Marcus Rashford, Trent Alexander-Arnold, all supposedly linked to a potential Barcelona transfer scenario.
And what's key for us, I think, is getting into the strategic thinking material claims is, behind this whole thing.
That's the core of it. The
Yeah.
information seems to come from, vague places like sources close to, or maybe even a leaked document graphic. It's a bit hazy. But it lays out this alleged scenario where Messi, maybe in a private chat, pitched a vision for Barca,
Okay. And the big idea.
bringing Marcus Rashford, Manchester United's Rashford, to Barcelona. That's the central piece, according to this.
Right. Okay. Rashford.
Yeah.
But why him specifically? What's the supposed strategy there based on these sources?
Well, this is where it gets really specific, almost granular. The claimed goal is incredibly focused. Neutralize Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Neutralize TAA, Liverpool's right back.
Exactly. The thinking described in the sources is that Barca felt or feel vulnerable on their right side. And Rashford, with his speed and directness.
He'd be the perfect offensive foil. Is that the phrase used?
Yeah, something like that. The idea is he'd occupy TAA, keep him busy.
So the theory, as it's presented here, is you put Rashford up against him, force TAA to constantly defend, which then limits his own pretty massive attacking output.
Precisely. And maybe you exploit the space he leaves if he does get forward. It's all about turning his strength, his attack, into maybe a defensive job he has to focus on.
Interesting. So let's look at how the players are painted in this picture. Rashford first.
He's highlighted for, the obvious things. Pace, direct running, eye for goal. The sources frame him as a tantalizing prospect for Barca, bringing firepower. Makes sense on the surface.
And then the player he's supposedly meant to counter, Trent Alexander-Arnold. How's he described?
The sources acknowledge he's, undeniably one of the world's best attacking right backs.
Yeah.
They mentioned the pinpoint crosses, the long-range passes, scoring free kicks, all the stuff we know.
Yeah, his heat map is mentioned too, right? Mostly in the opposition half.
Exactly. Which leads into that description one source apparently used. The TAA enigma. Offensive genius, defensive questions.
Okay, so that's the hook.
That seems to be the angle this alleged plan focuses on. That despite the attacking brilliance, maybe he could be contained, neutralized even, is the word used.
By just constantly forcing him back.
Yeah.
Someone like Rashford.
That's the suggestion in these documents, yeah. A direct counter.
Okay, but look, the sources themselves raise the big questions, don't they? About feasibility.
Oh, absolutely. They directly ask things like, would Rashford even want this move? Could Barcelona possibly afford him? Big one.
And maybe the biggest. Would Man United ever consider selling him? Especially to a rival like Barca.
Right. It's all framed very clearly as high-stakes speculation, which is important context for you listening.
Definitely. This isn't being reported as fact, but as a piece of, intriguing gossip with a tactical layer.
So what does digging into this material mean for you, the listener?
Well, I think it gives a fascinating look at how specific, how almost granular tactical ideas can bubble up in football speculation.
Yeah, it shows that transfer talk isn't always just about, player X to club Y. Sometimes there's this alleged deeper layer of how would this player specifically solve this tactical problem.
Or counter this specific opponent. It's like peeling back a layer on the why behind the who in some of these rumors, even if it's pure speculation.
Mm-hmm. It presents a potential strategic blueprint, however unlikely maybe, designed to nullify a star player.
So wrapping this up then, according to the sources we've looked at, the alleged Messi plan is presented almost like a chess move.
Bring in Rashford, specific job. Pin back Trent Alexander-Arnold. Neutralize his attacking threat by making him defend constantly.
It's a rumor, yes, but one grounded in a certain tactical logic, at least as presented.
But what's really fascinating to me within this story is the suggestion that one single signing,
Just one player.
could be seen as the key, the master key maybe, to unlocking a very specific tactical issue and basically taking an opponent's star player out of the game offensively.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Could one attacker, however good, truly be enough to completely contain an elite attacking fullback like TAA at the highest level? It raises that bigger question about individual matchups and their ripple effects across the whole team. Something to ponder.